The final game of the night approaches as we now have the last two combatants battling out for a round of 16 spots. It's going to be DIMAGA going up against duckdeok. Sean, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great for this last game, guys. I'm very excited to get this underway. I know I've been harping on a lot about duckdeok and Tails. If duckdeok wins this series, he's going to play incredibly well when it comes to the round of 16. Everybody knows that. But the barrier that he has in front of him right now is a 3rd and 4th place finisher from the Season 1 Premier League here in Europe. He's a player that moved to Korea and represented Europe in the Season 1 Grand Finals. This is not going to be easy. A lot of people expecting DIMAGA to move forward. DIMAGA himself, to maintain that top 16 position that he's currently in, ranked 15 with the WCS points, needs this win. Very simply. Especially
since DIMAGA has already beaten duckdeok tonight. Very formidably. Things as tricky as we saw duckdeok bring to the table against a Terran don't necessarily work in the slightest against a Zerg player. It's all about those two base players if you want to do something tricky. And at that point, DIMAGA's one of those players that sniffs that out and completely crushes it without a moment's notice.
Yeah, I mean, DIMAGA's coming into this series, and all the players that play in this are watching it as well.
Yeah.
So he's now played against him. He's now watched him. And now he's playing against him again. So I think DIMAGA's going to play this super defensive, very low drone count, always expecting an attack. So let's see how this series is going to really unfold as we're about to begin game number 1 of this final best of 3 of the evening. Damn it, I nailed that too.
It was pretty good.
It was good. Never mind, we got dropped.
It was good, man.
Oh. Oh my god.
Uh-oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Is this really happening?
Who's observing? Ooh.
Oh, God.
All right, down here in the bottom
Let's press
right.
Control N.
Oh, sorry.
Sean, that's fantastic.
Sorry. In the bottom right.
And switch them around as well. Control X.
What? Control X?
Yep.
Oh, all right.
I got you covered, man. I got you covered.
In the bottom right, a Zerg player from the Ukraine. He is...
Are you really going to do it?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not the observer. Wait, sorry.
This is...
him. All right. To the top left, it is duckdeok.
This is going to be the best observed game of all time. Do you?
I'm actually not a bad observer.
Are you not?
I'm not a bad observer.
Every time we've cast together, it's been me observing. So I've never known. All right. You need to
do the talk. Oh, look, that's nearly forged. All right, I know how to do this. Hold on, I'm gonna grab this guy. All right, what we're gonna see from this very probe is gonna be the inevitable cannon rush.
It's the SOS cannon rush, man.
The thing is, the worst part about observing the game is I can't read chat's reaction to how good my observing is right now, which I'll have to. I'll never relive that moment.
Would you like me to minimize?
No, you focus, man. We gotta focus on the cannon rush.
All right, okay, we're gonna focus on the cannon rush.
All right, so the spawn and pull is down. The overlord. See, I got it. Seize the pilot, seize the probe. The drone. Come on, do it.
It's so smooth, man. You're so
I'm sorry. My settings aren't correct. Is he going to cannon rush it all now? I mean, it's been spotted, right?
Yeah.
He's not. He's just going to expand. Look, over here.
Oh, duckdeok.
See? He's going to expand with this probe. Oop. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do this.
All right, okay then.
Yeah, there's expansion. I got no game sounds.
Yeah, press Control S and then Control M. All right, they were enabled, but you've got them so low that you can't hear them. All right, this is the best. All right, wait, I've got an idea. If we turn this up and unmute it.
I've just turned it up. I'm sorry, guys, but I hope it's okay.
Right, press Control S again. Maybe you disabled it again.
No, I had it enabled.
All right, okay. Hey, I still can't hear it.
All right, this is not my fault. Save Apollo. All right.
Hashtag save Apollo, guys. Hashtag WCS.
I don't know why there's no sound coming out.
No, do I.
Okay, so either way, we'll continue through.
We'll be all right.
All right, so we have quite a normal opening here from DIMAGA, who will be going for 3 hatcheries before any gas being taken.
Yep.
And this is just, he's now spotted that this is an expansion, right? So he's like, all right, there's the Nexus, the Forge, the Cannon, the Gateway. I've got a long time until I'm actually in threat of anything.
Yeah.
Which is why he's just decided to play like this. And we'll just continue to play a normal game from this position.
And with that now, just got those 2 gases finishing up and good to go here. duckdeok probably going to go for that little bit of a tech route. Would be very, very surprised if he actually just went for some kind of 4-gate aggression without tech.
Yeah.
I don't think that's in duckdeok's repertoire here.
I'm not too sure. I mean, he's got a hidden probe, but it may be like a followed gateway attack. He's got the forge. He can easily, you know, throw down +1 attack and maybe bring this probe out. But the problem is this Overlord may see it if he moves out very shortly.
Yeah.
It depends on when this probe moves out. And then ideally his location, because he's on the right-hand side, will be somewhere down this right-hand side flank.
Yep.
But there's another Overlord, as you can see, to the bottom left.
Yeah, he's really keeping
He's
an eye on
researching
everything.
+1, so he does not have a pylon inside them. Okay, there it is. Because you want a pylon inside the main base, because this is where the gateways are going to be added on. You can't add them onto the natural, right? So he's got no room.
And he's already taken his 3rd gas geyser as well.
I think that's more of a fake
think
than
so?
he'll maybe mine from it, but he might not mine in one in the main base. Yeah, see, he's mining from 2. He's not getting the highest amount of gas income.
And it's harder to scout those out in the main, or a little bit at least for now, with the Stalker coming out.
DIMAGA's got double gases coming down on the natural, so he's got the normal gas timing, but this Overlord's the crucial one.
Yeah.
Because this is the one that can actually poke in and see the gateways. Because that's where they'll probably be.
All right, well, that first gateway...
He should add quite a few here. He's got 2 and 2. 4 at least here. Could be higher.
I think that was the worst caster's curse I've ever had, because...
he sees the chrono boost in the cyber core too.
Yeah, with the mothership core on the way as well here. DIMAGA's getting the Roach Warren down, so he technically should have the provisions necessary to actually deal with some kind of gateway aggression.
Yeah.
But if he only goes for 3 there we go, there's a few more gateways going down now.
Yeah,
4,
that makes sense.
5...
DIMAGA should start unit production soon. He's already at 45 drones, and that's enough to stop a 2-base all-in.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he may even start it after these 3 Overlords. He goes up to 45 drones.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll probably, 3 more Overlords, then he's just going to start, he'll stop major unit production.
As long as the Zerglings as well here, trying to make that work out. As with that...
I fixed my game sounds. I looked at the screen and said, what's up?
So impressive, Apollo.
Didn't know that. All right, fixed it. All right, so we got game sounds back now. So here's the major, and look at that, 45 drones, incredibly low, and even spots the pylon, look.
Whoa, yeah.
So yeah, it was always going to be on this right-hand side flank the probe and pylon would come to and from. He may even get the pylon before warp gate's ready.
Yeah, he certainly could do. There's
10
Zerglings moving
seconds.
out.
10 seconds.
And if he gets the probe as well, is there another probe out on the map at all?
No, not yet.
So he's going to have a lot of hard times.
He needs some warp zealots actually to defend this, but he may lose that too.
Yeah.
No, he's got no other probe, but the probe did survive, so.
Oh, okay. Well, and it's
but he's delayed
survive.
it a lot. That's a warping round now that has to be at home. If he's going to do this right. There it is. So warping's at home, and now he has to walk all the way down here. DIMAGA is already at... he hasn't got Zergling speed yet, though. But he's got so many roaches.
Yeah, there's tons of roaches out already. He's actually adding on another 3 Overlords here to free up a lot of supply. He's at 85 to 55 right now. As long as he continues unit production with the layer going down behind this as well, it should be okay. Good time warp, though. We'll slow down those roaches against these Stalkers. That's a bit annoying.
Yeah, he's got to be careful not to lose too many roaches, though. And the Overlord's trying to get its way out because the Mothership Core gives Stalkers vision. So that's going to go down, but he's fine in terms of unit count at the moment. Like 38 to 16 army supply. The probe count and drone count doesn't matter. It's 53 versus 37. There is a follow-up coming in. Twilight Cancel and armor coming down. Probably with all 4 gases taken. Probably Templar Archives. Just to go for some crazy Zealot Archon secondary push. I suppose that makes the most sense at this point.
You could technically go for Blink as well, I guess.
You could go Blink.
But for now, we have that +1 weapons on the way for the roaches here.
Oh, it is Blink. Okay.
7 roaches extra on the way, as well as freeing up a lot more supply with the Overlords as well. So really gearing up for just anything his opponent's doing. And I think the duckdeok completely forgiven this up.
Yeah, it was never going to work from the get-go.
Yeah.
DIMAGA maintains a 600 difference mineral income. There is another pylon down, so it's like going to probably be a secondary attack with just more Stalkers. But the thing is, Roach Speed's now on the way, +1 attacks on the way. And an Overseer is going to be, where is it? This one? Yeah, this one.
By the time this hits, Sean, isn't he just going to have so many roaches? It's unbelievable.
He'll have like 75 drones and a major army.
Yeah.
Like the Overseer comes in now and he'll see the Twilight Council researching Blink.
I mean, there's sometimes you can get the critical amount of Stalkers out to the point where you're just blinking back and they're never dying, they're never dying, they're never dying. But DIMAGA is going to have such a strong army against this. I don't think duckdeok's going to hit the critical mass that he needs to compete with his opponent's army.
Yeah, the Hydralisk Den now comes down too. He sees that with, sees with this Overlord that there's no 3rd as well. And he just went past this location on the left-hand side with the Overseer. So he knows exactly it's just another 2-base all-in. So now DIMAGA just with 5 Overlords in the way. 5 Overlords are going to allow him to go to 200 supply with two more left. And then he just maxes out on Hydras. And here's the secondary attack. It's quite a lot of Stalkers.
That is, yeah.
Army supply 58 to 104 though. Ling, Hydralisk, which are now coming out. There's only 1 at the moment. But still, this army is very, very big.
Yeah, trying to make this work out. Even +1 weapons is going to finish up very, very quickly for him as well. He doesn't have any force fields, so he can't actually throw down against these Zerglings here that have positioned themselves fantastically around these Stalkers to try and blink away. They're trying, but it's not getting any use. DIMAGA is still doubling his opponent's supply right now. The Time Warp helps out a little bit, but no critical mass Stalkers for you, Mr. duckdeok.
Yeah, and even without any upgrades for DIMAGA's Roaches, only just now finishing +1, he immediately closes that out. That attack was never going to work here. And this game's, over. Army supply 106 to 32. 62 drones to 41 probes. There's no robotics facility, no robotics bay, no Colossus, nothing to do with Hydras at all. No Panic Dark Templar here. He's going to try Micro's heart out and just call GG.
There you go for game number 1. DIMAGA takes it, and that means he is 1 game away from advancing on to the round of 16. Good one, Sean. That was fantastic stuff.
That wasn't easy. With the right settings down and the game sounds off, which I'm going to now fix. Hold on. Ready?
Bye.
This is easy.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I'm added BC, an Icicle, and I do respect your job when I don't have the right mouse and the settings on. But successful observing was successful.
I have to commend you, sir. I have to commend you. I know how difficult it can be to cast and observe at the same time, but you nailed it.
I think I turned into a very analytical guy when I was observing, because I get to control what we look at.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, we're going to look at this.
Here and here and here.
I get my pen out and I start drawing on the screen. That's the future of casting.
That is the future.
When I am able to control the observing with my right hand, press with my pinky, the S and U key for production tab and unit tab, and then with my thumb and my index finger, I'm going to be drawing on the screen
wait a
with
minute.
a pen.
This is too much. And casting at the same time?
And cast at the same time. I'm going to be like the monkey that can, the...
ching, 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 ching.
And he has the drums and the guitar and whatnot. I can do anything, apparently.
One-man band, man. One-man band.
The one-man cast.
The one-man cast.
It's like
the future.
It's like when I'm casting, I have a wireless headset so I can come around and press XSplit buttons to make sure the scenes are right.
Don't worry, Tim. We've got your job as well. It's all good.
All right. So I will not be observing this game unless it happens again. You weren't in the game then to observe?
No. I'm not joining any of the games because apparently my PC doesn't like me.
All right. Well, it was fun. I hope you enjoyed that little
excursion.
A little bit of fun here in the last broadcast, last broadcasted series of the day. Make sure to hashtag WCS and tell me how awesome the observing was.
Hashtag ProObserver.
ProObserver. All right, so the next map then. What is the next map? It is Star Station.
Star Station.
So another difficult map here. If history repeats itself, which it does very often, we will see another 2-base attack.
I don't think we'll see the Immortal push, though. If he does that again on Star Station against DIMAGA, and DIMAGA just shuts it down as well as he did.
Yeah.
No. Back, Duck. Back.
If I was a European Protoss player in duckdeok's position on a cross-map only map, I would proxy 2-gate inside the main base.
Inside the main base?
It's actually a build that Todd used against Pig at DreamHack.
But not quite.
And it was a build that Gosi User and Suppy were arguing that was Imba on a Force Cross spawn map.
But you remember what happened with Todd and Pig, right?
Yeah, but that... Yeah, all right. That map may have not been cross-position. But either way, we are now loading into the game. So thanks for bearing with my terrible observing and sticking with us here at the WCS Europe Premier League. We could be 1 game away from finding out who's the 8th player into the round of 16.
We could indeed, as we have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner as our blue Protoss fighting for MVP and Korea. He is Mr. duckdeok. And spawning up to the top right-hand corner here as our red Zerg, we have Rocket DIMAGA.
That's right, Rocket DIMAGA. We'll see what's going to happen here, as this could be the last game. Could be the last game, depending on if it's a 4-gate, if it's double gateway, if it's Nexus First or Forge Cannon Rush. We'll see. I think, though, it's definitely going to be an all-in. It has to be, right? Yeah. Every single game, they've all-inned. So.
Yeah, I would be so surprised if he actually went for the macro game at this point, especially against DIMAGA, who's shown that he can stand with the best of them in terms of the Koreans when it comes to that kind of macro game in these situations.
Yeah, I mean, DIMAGA is just the all-round, almost, if you look at the way that duckdeok's been playing, unbeatable player at this point. If I was duckdeok, I'd be like, all right, how do I beat him? I can't all in. I seemingly can't play long games at this point either. What's next? Is there a middle ground?
Is there anything?
That's the problem that he's facing at this point. A difficult, you know, maybe he plays greedy. Maybe a fast third base and say, screw it, I'll do it. And if he stops me, he stops me. If it works, it works.
That's a very, very tough situation here to be in for Mr. duckdeok. As DIMAGA, he's shown that he's resilient, and he's shown that everything that duckdeok's thrown at him thus far has been shut down. Now, DIMAGA going for an expansion, opening up normal. duckdeok, on the other hand, goes for the Nexus, plays it a little bit economically to kick things off, and continues on that wall. So his options, I kind of have to agree. I think they're very, very limited. Very limited indeed.
I think greed is the option. Or,
Mega greed.
Okay, so the two options I think may be best here is like an Immortal Colossus all-in, or Ultimate Greed. Like a really fast third base. This is like 6-7 minute third base.
How do you get away with that against a player like DIMAGA, who is going to pressure it? He is going to go for the Zergling Roach.
So it may be, I think it may be a robotics facility as his tech choice in this game, if that's the way that you know, it's going to come down. DIMAGA with a gas coming down before third hatchery here seems to be like he wants to play along the lines of getting the speed down pretty fast, followed by an evolution chamber here once again. It's been kind of his style, his thing. And it may even be +1, oh actually I was going to say +1 melee, but probably against the playstyle that he knows is coming from duckdeok. Probably just straight carapace. Because I mean, melee is to punish a third base, carapace is to defend. So.
Yeah, deal with that +1 that would end up occurring. It's always good to cancel that out if you can here from the Zerg's point of view. With that cybernetics core now going down here for duckdeok, just getting that going as quickly as he possibly can do off the back of what he's opened with. And for now, DIMAGA, I mean, he reigns supreme on these bigger maps. If he can control that middle of the map, he is going to. And duckdeok even getting across the other side of the map, never mind applying pressure, it's going to be difficult.
He hasn't even scouted yet, duckdeok. He hasn't even left his base. So that tells me he just has one game plan. He already knows what he's doing. It's just for us to wait to see what it is. Because he hasn't scouted. He doesn't know if there's an all-in coming, doesn't know if there's a third base. It's proper YOLO. Like, doesn't care about anything here. And we'll see what it's going to be. Like, the cybernetics core is down. Does he throw down the robotics facility in the main base? Is it Stargate? Is it Twilight Council?
Ooh, he goes for the melee upgrade.
It's robotics facility. Okay, that's kind of expected here. So from this position, I'd say it's just going to be like a 2-base Immortal Colossus push.
And I'm curious as to, does he have vision of the Forge? Yes, he does. He doesn't see it researching anything, so the melee makes a little more sense right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's going for melee here. It's going to be pretty good. Attacking-wise, he can always pressure the front too.
Yeah.
But now the +1 attack has been researched. DIMAGA, this looks like, you know, two things, Stargate or Robo. There is an Overlord at the back of duckdeok's main base, which is going to be the one that's going to scout this for sure. He's going to poke in soon.
Yeah, and that speed will finish up in just a second for those Zerglings as well. DIMAGA has all the opportunities in the world here to spot exactly what duckdeok is up to, even rallying over a lot of Zerglings. And this is what DIMAGA likes to do. He likes to take control of the map nice and early, making sure nothing crazy is going on with a good amount of Zerglings. And with that, you know, it keeps him even more assured at home.
And look at this, DIMAGA's Overlord, as expected here, will scout the robotics facility. No matter how hard that sentry tries to prevent it, it now sees it. And upon seeing that, now you know it's not Stargate play. You don't need to dedicate to Spore Crawlers. You don't need to rush up to Lair to get Hydras down. You just add on a bunch of units, which is Queens coming down from both of the hatcheries, and a lot of Zerglings. And he's even got broken through. I don't even know how that happened, but he's broken through.
There was no Zealot at the wall. All the sentries, there were only 2 sentries out for him, I believe. And having them pulled back for the Overlord to try and kill that off, and it didn't really get anything done. It didn't deny the scouting. It killed off an Overlord in the end, but that's not... Oh no, it didn't even kill the Overlord in the end. So that's really not worth it there.
But he saw the robotics bay. He picked off 3 probes and saw the robotics bay. Now he knows that, you know, this is very likely to be after the second Immortals come down, 2 Colossus, and then he's just going to go across with +1 attack and +1 armor. 3 extra gateways are coming in as well. The thing is, DIMAGA knows what's coming, so he now knows that all I need to do is defend against it. Circling only is probably not the best idea against this because, of course, the Force Swords and Colossus are going to break that down quite easily. So he's going to have to go around to a different tech choice. Spire play, definitely possible here. Hydralisk or Spy play, with getting +1 carapace, probably just going to go Hydralisks.
Yeah, DIMAGA here, he's well versed in both of those strats and can make it even work, but now there is a probe sneaked up to the left-hand side of the map here, so duckdeok can throw down a pylon if he chooses to go for this aggression, which he is going to, so DIMAGA needs to keep himself well poised and confident in the middle of the map. He needs to try and hunt that down and eventually find it with maybe the Zerglings to kick things off.
And actually, it's Spire. Look at that. Spire play comes down instead. So he's just going to try and just go over to Mutalisk to crush this. There's not too much anti-air. There's only a few sentries, but the Spire's quite a long way away from coming. So whether he tries to counter-attack, I think he's expecting this push to come with 2 Colossus, right? Not 1. So I think he's buying his time really well. He knows the timing of this. But with just 1 Colossus, it's coming a lot faster, but it's a lot weaker.
Yeah, definitely.
So against any Roach or Hydra play or Ling play, this is bad. Because obviously he gets surrounded much easier, but against Mutalisk play, this is actually the better option here for duckdeok.
Yeah, it's a really nifty little timing here as he moves out into the middle of the map. The Zerglings did sacrifice themselves a little bit, but now actually he's getting a lot of momentum with these Zealots as well. That's a lot of firepower that duckdeok has in this army. The Spire is 75% complete right now. Got 10 Roaches on the way. All DIMAGA has to do is buy quite a bit of time, but still, Stalkers are actually reinforcing this. And
then Mutalisks are going to come in, right? He's got 1,000 gas. He's going to have 10 Mutalisks very shortly. 4 Spine Crawlers, helping buy time. Only 4 Stalkers, though. And here comes the 11 Mutalisks.
And noticeably, the Colossus did not get range, I believe, right?
No, he did not.
So, this 1 Colossus, normally it would be there to try and, going into the situation, try and pick away at Spine Crawlers for a while, but you can't stay there and try and kind of lose a lot of time against an opponent that's going to the Mutalisks.
And now the second Colossus joins in, and this is the time to go attack. But that is the time that the Mutalisks pop together with Lings and Roach with a good surround here, and the Queen's coming in. I don't see how duckdeok's going to do this.
Yeah, DIMAGA's going to come in from every single angle here if he's not careful. The Queen's as well to help this out. The Mutalisks actually fly on in. Not too bad time warps as well as the Force Field's going to close off quite a lot of this, but the Mutalisks already focusing down on a ton of those sentries, killing those off, really limiting how much space control that duckdeok actually has here.
Well, actually, he's not doing too bad here with Guardian Shield and Stalkers. I thought this would be a lot closer. DIMAGA's GG's. I messed that up, man. I thought he was going to crush that. He didn't have enough, and duckdeok does take a game from DIMAGA. Imagine if duckdeok won the series. Imagine that. I actually honestly thought that would have gone one way, and DIMAGA's way.
Guardian Shield's deceptively good against those kind of plays. It soaks up so much damage against that kind of army. And again, the Force Fields were very good, along with the Time Warps. There wasn't a lot of damage being done by those units at the back with the range.
I mean, I made a mistake with that one for sure. I wonder if Mutalisk was the best decision against that, though.
I think you could have stuck with Roach Hydra.
Imagine just pure Roach.
Or just pure Roach.
Just mass amounts of numbers to kind of overwhelm his opponent there.
I mean, that's what he's been doing for weeks and weeks and weeks. Just the very, very heavy kind of mid-game range units, be it Roach Hydra or Roach. And it's worked really well for him because DIMAGA has exhibited throughout not only the previous games in Home Story Cup and stuff like that, but also Season 1 WCS, the ability to come in from multiple angles and force so many force field usages and make it really hard for his opponent.
All right, well, it depends what the next map is, and I'm not too sure what it is. The third is... Newkirk.
Yes, Newkirk.
So the last map being Newkirk. Again, it is difficult to play straight up. We're not going to see a straight up game, but it depends on what the attack's going to be. Is it the Warp Prism play that is quite popular across the airspace here? Is it going to be the same build? If it is the same build, DIMAGA's definitely not doing that again.
No, no, no.
Like, he won't play Mutalisk there.
No, it seemed to not go too much in DIMAGA's favor there. Game number 3 will be on the way here in just a second. And as you said before, that Warp Prism play is very potent on this map. Very potent indeed.
It's good, but does he decide to do it? Either way, DIMAGA knows that an attack is coming. It's down for DIMAGA in this series. The overall shape up how this is going to play, DIMAGA's going to try to find out which attack is coming and then defend it. He knew that attack was coming. He just chose the wrong structure to how his defense would be laid out. Mutalisk wasn't the right choice, apparently, as we saw. So
seemingly not. Countdown's begun, guys, for the final game of the night. Who is going to advance on to the round of 16? Will it be DIMAGA or duckdeok? Will it be Ukraine or Korea? Moving on to join the already 7 players there, awaiting them in the round of 16. We shall see as we load up And jumping into game number 3, we have, spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, the man who ties up the series, representing MVP. He is MVP duckdeok. And spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner as our red Zerg, representing the Ukraine, he is Ro32.
All right. I'm trying to think of a build that would be nice here for duckdeok, because that's the way he's going to play, right? We already know it. I was going to say Gateway. I was going to think Gateway Expand. Gateway Expand with a 4-gate play along those lines. Maybe +1 attack, yeah, +1 attack 4-gate from this. Although not straight up 4-gate, as in Expand.
No. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think that may be his option. And if he has the pylon hidden, so you know where the third base of DIMAGA is going to be? In that triangular position, then I would hide the pylon south from that location on the high ground somewhere.
Yeah.
Up that 4th base. If he was to hide from there and reinforce from that position, could be possible.
Could be very strong. We'll see if duckdeok
very
wants to go
strong.
back. Very strong.
Right.
And there's the gateway going down. Just a sec. There we go. So, DIMAGA now. Is he going to go for a hatchery? No, he's not.
No, he's spawn and pull first. 15 spawn and pull. Cannon rush is definitely a threat, which I think was going to happen on Belshire Vestige.
Oh, yeah, actually, that's a good point.
So it's definitely a threat there. But duckdeok's now going to take double gases. Another build that does work out quite well is actually a Stargate inside the main base for a single or double Oracle. They do bring down queens. And then even can ignore queens. There's 2 ways to play. You can try to target down the first one and hope that the second one doesn't arrive too fast, or just go straight for the mineral line is another style that he could use.
Bit more micro-intensive, that one, though, in the end.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, if you just shift-click drones and don't care about the queen,
yeah,
a little bit less micro-intensive. But either way, it's so funny that a series comes down to us figuring out and waiting to see what attack is coming. It's funny that the series is like that.
Yeah.
Not too many builds, not too many people are like that. Maybe if Elfie was playing.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe if Elfie was playing, it'd be like that, but not the case.
It's cat on his lap, making sure that the cat can fully see the screen as well. It's important that the cat is able to watch. But for now, the cybernetics core is done here for Mr. duckdeok. And again, DIMAGA's seen everything that's going on right now. So he throws down his gas, making sure that he can't be too assaulted early on, very early on, that is. And now we have just the expansion going down for Mr. duckdeok. So he's going to play this out a little bit more to a standard tail.
Yeah, it's just super normal play here. The Mothership Core should be following this up. And the Mothership Core at this point is to start building energy up from it. And it's also a good unit against Zerglings, clearly, as it can shoot up. I mean, shoot down, and they can't shoot up. DIMAGA, though, I wonder if even focusing on getting Overlord speed would be a nice option for him. It depends on how confident he is in getting an Overlord in to spot what's coming. He could get Zergling speed and then with the next 100 get Overlord speed. I think that might be nice against how his opponent's playing. I think it would be.
Yeah, it certainly could do.
He may not do that though, but I think it would be nice for sure.
And now Mr. DIMAGA, well, he's stuck him down in the evolution chamber.
Yeah, so he's not going to try that.
Yeah, that's where his gas is going to go here. Does he go where you think he's going to go? You think he goes melee because there's no forge right now? It's
lined up to melee, yeah. If you see how the gas is coming to complete, it's 100 as the evolution chamber finishes. Otherwise, he would have waited a good 10 seconds more before getting the evolution chamber to get carapace. It'll finish as he gets 100. Very well timed, see? Boop. 100.
There you go. And now, 2 more gateways go down for duckdeok. So
I would put the 4th in the main base.
Yeah, definitely.
If he was to do that. Yeah, if he was to do that. Robo, okay, so same build again. He's going to try the same again.
Just fully to
Well, he's like, you know, if I try something different, it may just get shut down by his mass Zerglings. But if he tries mass Zerglings, then I can try and go for the same again. I think it's going to be the same again.
But now, if DIMAGA sees this, if DIMAGA gets full knowledge of this, he reacts differently to game 2.
Absolutely.
He changes it up, and on a map like this, if he takes the engagement in the middle of the map, there's so much area for him to come in from either side. So he could crush this.
He would crush it. There's a lot of Zerglings on the way. 18. And with 2 sentries and +1 melee on the way, he's got to be careful because the... Oh, okay, 4 sentries. That's fine. But they could actually start to do damage to the front wall for sure. He's building... Oh, God, he's building even more.
Whoa.
This is really bad for DIMAGA if it is the Colossus build. because he's cutting his production so early with his economy. And if he tries to break down this wall with +1 melee, then there's 4 gateways, right? Or 3 gateways. 3 gateways and a 4th on the way.
And remember, guys, this is all on the line in this game. It is 1-1 currently.
But there's no gases on the natural being taken. He's not going to rush up to tech. He's just going to move out. It's going to be the repeat of game 1 from the first series today. He's going to move out with 2 Immortals and a bunch of Zealot Sentries.
Yeah.
But DIMAGA's got such a high count of Lings. The problem is, DIMAGA doesn't know if it is or not. He's actually gone back to lair and started drone production again.
He just needs to send 1 Ling up the ramp to see that many sentries and.
But he didn't. He saw the robotics facility being building, but he didn't know about the gases on the natural. That's the one thing he doesn't know about, and that's the key in knowing if it's going to be robotics bay. With only 2 gases being taken, it's only going to be gateway units. But now DIMAGA's rushing up to lair. He's getting drones. If he falls to this, Warp Prism behind the 2 Immortals, it's just a classic Immortal push. DIMAGA has a Ling on patrol move.
Yeah.
He's going to see this move out much, much earlier. He's just got to go back to mass Lings again.
He's got to fall back here. He's trying to get Carapace as well.
But this also could be a fake out. He could move down and be like, all right, I hope you're building units instead of drones. What is DIMAGA building? Units or drones next? Because that tells how this is going to go.
Duck faking it.
10 roaches, okay.
Well.
A counterattack. The wall's been complete, though.
Oh, yeah. Those Zerglings going to try and probably wrap around this, or at least cut off some reinforcements, and he will catch a Zealot as well as a Sentry, and sees the Warp Prism. Full indication of what is going on right now. He has
but he's supply blocked.
Units.
Supply blocked at 94 supply, 3 Overlords in the making. Is DIMAGA going to lose? Is DuckDuck going to make his way to Cologne, Germany in the round of 16 through different types of all-in?
He certainly could do. He's actually pressuring this 3rd base right now. DIMAGA has a timer on his head here. Good force fields will separate a lot of those roaches off from the back here.
Force
the
fields.
Zerglings do not get in as well. Another great wall of force fields. The Immortals are still alive. Pivotal moment here as DIMAGA is trying to crush this down. Time Warp goes down as well to seal off some of those roaches along with the force fields. Great synergy there. And DuckDuck is actually making this work.
He's making it work. Still 20 supply behind, but the Queens get stuck. 12 roaches. Remember, the Queen's coming out? There's no lava injects happening, so there's only 5 lava behind this. DIMAGA's in trouble. He's focusing very heavy on roaches here. 2 Immortals going to deal out so much damage.
They need to die. They need to die for DIMAGA, and his 3rd base goes down. That's going to limit a lot of his production here. The 2 roaches that try to scuttle away over to the natural barely do get away here. And DIMAGA now 101 supply to 77. He needs to muster every single little bit of his force to try and crush this, but it's going to be difficult.
There's a pile there to reinforce. Roaches don't get trapped. There wasn't another force field available there, so lucky DIMAGA. He could have been in a bunch of trouble. Still fighting very hard. He's so close in supply. This is only good for DuckDuck now, who's 2 base versus 2 base. We could actually see the 3rd and 4th place finisher from Season 1 fall to Challenger League against DuckDuck, who would have the opportunity to play live in front of an audience here in Cologne, Germany. It would be such a major win for him if he was to do this. This is incredible. The sentries are banking up so much energy now. There are 8 sentries with 8 force fields available in a second.
DIMAGA setting himself up a good concave on his high ground. He got a few more overlords out, so he can continue to replenish those units. But again, on 2 bases, don't do his slightly supply block though. So he's actually trying to get out of that with 3 pylons here. So it's nerves are on the line.
These force fields are going to kill DIMAGA, man. These force fields are killing him. There's a robotics bay behind. This is disastrous for the Ukrainian, but on the other hand, for MVP DuckDuck, this is so big. Right now, DIMAGA's economy is so slow. They're both on roundabout equal economy. DIMAGA's a little bit ahead, so he's pulling ahead in supply a little bit, but the amount of force fields that are going to be available, the sentries now have 2 force fields each.
Neither player wants to move. Neither player wants to go for it. DIMAGA is saying, come at me, bro, but DuckDuck is having none of it. Transitioning on behind this, knowing his opponent is limited in how much he can actually do, this is so hard for DIMAGA to actually break out of right now.
Yeah, I mean, DIMAGA really needs to find somehow, as he has a couple of units on the other side of the map. Drones did come around with these roaches and lings to try to pick off the additional pylons or whatnot to help to prevent the reinforcements. But the amount of zealots here, the force fields is such the biggest key. Another Immortal's been made. Thermal Lance behind this as well. DuckDuck has his opponent in a submission.
Yeah.
Just like he had Daishi earlier on.
And now, just killing off...
Oh, he's going to move down the ramp.
Oh, he's trying to go for it, but the force fields do prevent that. And he actually catches quite a few of them in between as well. Sandwiching those, any units that DuckDuck can get here with those force fields is good. He doesn't want to expend all of his force fields, though, so he has to be careful a little bit about that. But DIMAGA, once again, still constricted to those 2 bases.
Worm is his mobility option here. If he can somehow come from behind, maybe.
This is the only way, I feel. This is the only way. Surely. You can't get down that ramp. There's no way you can get down that ramp. You have to find another route. Nidus is the only way.
Well, luckily for DIMAGA, his opponent is supply cap with this pylon going down and goes into the red. An attempt to come down before the Nidus is ready.
Oh, but the force fields catch off a lot of those roaches. Some of them trying to... Is he trying to focus down the sentries? He's not.
Oh, a lot of roaches get caught in the middle force fields there. The Nidus swim is ready.
The Nidus is ready. The roaches, once again, trying to barrel down.
But he picks off so many zealots. This is a good trade, I'd say, for DIMAGA.
He's got so many roaches.
Okay, he's going to burst down this in a minute. The force field's about to expend. And duckdeok's running for the hills. Run for the hills. Run for the hills, man, because he has to get back to the Colossus and the sentries. DIMAGA somehow managed to just break that for now.
So many roaches on 2 base. It managed to work out in the end. But if those force fields had been perfect, then that would have been a whole other story. duckdeok took his eyes off the prize for just a second.
Well, he was expending so many force fields to, overlap here.
Yeah.
And now DIMAGA turns the heat reversed up, takes a 3rd base, comes across. The Nidus Worm not been utilized here in this game.
This game, man.
But there's still a lot of force fields again. 2 Immortals. They do not have any upgrades. The Forge is just now coming down.
Spire goes down.
Well, he hasn't got a lot of gas to use Spire here. But he may do soon when he gets that 3rd base up. He can't throw away units in a low economy game.
Roach is trying to go for the engagement once again. The force fields, they're not that amazing here. He does take one of those Colossus down. He needs to take the second one down to really limit the amount of damage that duckdeok can actually do. The supply counts are evening up, though. There's 2 Immortals in the back doing quite a lot. The second Colossus gets saved as well. The Protoss army has the firepower to kill off the Roach force.
Uh-oh. Equal supply. You can never trade units like that in a low economy game. What did he pick off? 1 Colossus and a few Zealots and Stalkers and maybe a Sentry or 2? The 3 Immortals remain. A Colossus is down and a 3rd base is coming here for DIMAGA. The Spire's coming in, but he has no gas. He stopped unit production that causes gas. So roaches. He's now producing only Zerglings. The Forge is coming down with +1 attack, Guardian Shield and Stalkers. Same kind of scenario, and there's a lot of Stalkers being made here.
DIMAGA's the kind of player that's never going to give up.
He's going to have to counterattack here. If he takes a straight fight, he loses. He's going to have to buy time. +1 attack starts, which is spending his gas again. Maybe he can't even use Mulus here. It's a bad decision again. Corruptor's coming in to try to deal with the Colossus. Oh man, this is difficult.
How many Corruptors is it? Throwing 3 on the way here. He tries to go for the engagement once again, but the Time Warp shutting down a lot of those Zerglings at the front, along with the force fields as well, making it harder, incredibly harder for those roaches to actually close the gap. And DIMAGA has to fall back.
He's going to lose his 3rd again. 5 Corruptors coming out. DIMAGA's saying to himself, if I bring the Colossus down, maybe, but there's a second one joining that army now.
It's slowly getting too strong.
Despite all the barriers he has to, play against at this moment, is fighting through it to be able to have a chance to play in the round of 16. It's obviously the biggest goal of his, to play live in front of everyone instead of playing online. And we'll find out if that dream can come true here for the youngest player in the Premier League, only 18 years old, born in 1995. I can't believe that, 1995.
We're getting old, man.
We're getting old.
But at the same time, DIMAGA, he is not letting this go. He is fighting for his tournament life. After doing so well in Season 1 and bringing so much passion to it, there's no way he is going to let this go. He is going to try and fight completely out. He's trying to expand once again, but he's so limited in how much he can actually do by the great execution of duckdeok here.
And there are 25 Stalkers. They have Blink on the way as well. The Twilight Council's down, which means he can start +2 once he starts to get bigger a gas income. But he's not mining gas. He stopped pro production. He's coming for the kill. He's coming for his place in the round of 16.
He is indeed. And that is a huge, huge force for DIMAGA to deal with. The Corruptors may be able to bring down the Colossus, but he needs to kill those so early on in the engagement, as once again the 3rd gets denied. duckdeok constantly keeping DIMAGA in that headlock.
There is 1 time warp available. DIMAGA's at 165 supply. The warp, the Mothership core goes down really fast. Next to the Colossus, being targeted down 1 by 1. He's not going in too early. 1 Colossus down, the second one down as well. He needs to use the Corruption on all the other units.
Yeah, the Corruptor's not going to be as useful as long later on. Apart from the Corruption, when those go down, but he gets caught in a terrible spot there. Some of the roaches are on the right side, but it's not going to be enough as duckdeok finds the best position to engage without the Colossi in the end. DIMAGA loses the entirety of his army to this amazingly strong Protoss force.
And DIMAGA's hopes and dreams are continuing. It fall down the toilet. Duck takes the win after going through Daishi in the losers match and then going through DIMAGA 2 games to 1, jumping all those hurdles to claim a spot in the round of 16. And we'll move, well, not move, but we'll fly to Germany to play here. That's a big, big win.
That is a big win for duckdeok there. He surpassed everyone's expectations, I think, here in this group, advancing on in second place. And that means we have 2 Protoss actually advancing on from Group D.
Yeah, I mean, this is a mind-blowing result here.
Yeah, it really is.
DIMAGA, I guarantee you, is shattered at home right now in Ukraine after that loss. Look how easy he won in the first set 2-0. Then to win the first game here, to lose eventually. That's a pain, man. That's difficult to deal with for DIMAGA. It's going to be painful.
That is very difficult to deal with.
And that really hinders his progress in the WCS ranking system.
It does.
And by the end of this season, despite him going to Challenger League and can gain more points down there, I promise you, or I'm pretty sure, that he's not going to be top 16 by the end of Season 2.
It's almost impossible, I feel. It's almost impossible unless he takes first place at some Tier 1 events or Tier 2 events. No, not even Tier 2. It would have to be Tier 1 for him to fully stay in that running.
But,
so,
you know, MVP duckdeok, Finale, as you may know him previously, gets the opportunity now to really show what he's made of. When he comes to Cologne, Germany, he'll be coming alongside the other 3 Koreans that advance their way through, which are MMA, MC, and MVP. Duckdeok is the 4th Korean. So far we have 8 players, 4 non-Koreans and 4 Korean players. 50-50 ratio so far.
Every single day we've had a Korean and a non-Korean advancing. It's been pretty even in that regard. And duckdeok, again, surpassing everyone's expectations here and moving on to that round of 16. The 8 players have been decided. What a night of games.
I mean, the 8 players right now, so let me just refresh your minds real fast, is MVP and Tefl from Group A. In Group B, we then had Stefano in first place, MC in second, followed by MMA and Mana, and then today, Hazuobs, followed by duckdeok, knocking out both Zergs that represented the Europe region last time. If we look at Group C and Group D, Tilo not making it to the round of 16, and DIMAGA likewise not making it to the round of 16.
It's only Stefano that holds strong there in that bracket thus far that advances on to that round of 16 in Season 2. And that does it for today's broadcast, Tom.
That does. I mean, a crazy set of games. duckdeok managing to make his way through despite all odds, everything against him. He will come here to play live in just a few weeks' time.
All right. So, guys, that wraps everything up. So a huge thank you for joining us throughout this 2 days of broadcasting from the round of 32. Next week, we'll have Group E and Group F, which will have people like Baby Knight, Rhett, Thorzane, Lucifer, Naniwa playing there, even Uza, a player that's come all the way through up from Challenger, a Polish player trying to make a name for himself as well. Some really cool names there.
That's right. So remember, next Tuesday, we'll be back at 6 p.m. local time, 6 p.m. Central European Summer Time on Tuesday and Wednesday for both games. I'm looking forward to casting those games for sure, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there as well.
So am I. So it's bye from us here in Cologne, Germany, and we'll see you next week.